Eh?
How do you feel about her?
I like her, man. I think she's dope.
No, she's not. Man.
For real.
Gimmick.
Why?
Called it from the first time I saw. Said gimmick.
Have you seen her play?
Have you heard the
No
whole
talent,
set?
nothing.
What do you mean? Have you heard us play it, like the whole set?
I saw her Instagram live and she started DJing like 6 months ago and I wasn't impressed. Making mistakes.
Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Boosie Entertainment. So as you can see from the title of this video, we are talking all things female DJing in South Africa. There's been a high rise in the number of females entering the DJing space in South Africa, and I will dabble on that a bit later on. For now though, I do want to give a brief overview or history on DJing. DJing basically started in the West, and DJing as we know it now started in America during the rise of hip hop and jazz and all of that. The term disc jockey was or has its roots back in the early 1930s, and it was a term that is believed to be said or termed by a man named Walter Winchell, who was basically a radio broadcaster or a radio presenter, and he referred to his colleague Martin Block as a disc jockey because Martin Block was basically in charge of playing music over the radio. So initially DJing wasn't all about the sound effects and all the stunts that people do on the decks, right? It was mainly about just playing music over the radio, playing pre-recorded music that is obviously out there already, and playing it for your audience over the radio, which is something I guess people now in South Africa, especially in the amapiano genre, are literally doing. And people are catching a lot of flack for that because they're not using these effects and all of that for DJing. But that is a discussion that I will have a bit later on. Yeah, so initially DJing was literally that you just press and play a song that everyone knows and it just gets people engaged, right? And then it sort of developed into something a bit later on. So in the 1940s, around 1947 is when disc jockeying started becoming more popular among parties. So that is when also turntables started becoming popular. And yeah, so DJs would now start mixing sounds and using the sound effects to engage the crowds at the parties. So it became what we know now, which is the ticka ticka ticka, turntables and all of the sound effects that we now know of, that we literally love in the party scene. It became that because of when it started hitting the American and Jamaican hoods or ghettos. That is when people started adopting it and being like, oh, okay, wait, so I think I can pull some really dope sound effects with these songs, and they pinpoint points in the song where they would like to reverse and then forward, reverse, forward, reverse, forward, obviously using the turntables, and that produced the sound ticka ticka ticka, which is what DJing obviously came to be known for. Initially, at its inception, it was just playing music, like playing a Beyonce song or playing a DJ Black Coffee song, and not edit or put anything in between. You just play the song, right? And then it evolved into more like a production type of area or arena where people are now putting in sound effects and making the music sound a lot more livelier, for the audience. So in South Africa, DJing has been around, and there's no specific dating on the internet on when DJing started, being big in the South African market. But with South African history, with apartheid and Black people not having access to a lot of the things that other people had, we do know, however, that their party scenes included of, what we know of now is the Sophia Town themed, party vibes. So in those settings, music was mostly encompassing live performances, as well as just playing what they called jukebox, which is speakers. They just put speakers and then play music. So there wasn't really a lot of DJing involved. So there's no exact date on when DJing began. So DJing in South Africa was made popular by DJs such as DJ Black Coffee, DJ Oskido, DJ Cleo, and a whole lot of, the other DJs that were very much present and, dominant in the industry during the Kwaito and house music days. So obviously there were other DJs available or in other genres. For instance, there were like a lot of white DJs at the time. But I don't wanna dwell on them because they were not part of like, mainstream entertainment industry. So for the purpose of making this video short and on focusing on only like popular culture, mainstream industry, I will only talk about like the people that were in the public eye and everyone knew of. So one person I really want to mention is DJ Lady Leah. She is a female DJ who mostly played at radio stations in the early 2000s. Yes, she is white, and she also came from a girl group, a trio of DJs, which was something that was really like, whoa, we've never seen this before, especially in South Africa. So I really do think that she played a huge part in actually inspiring South African women to actually become DJs, because she was really big and she played for really big radio stations, and she even went international with her career. So I just did want to mention her as one of the people who actually contributed to inspiring women to take on, being a DJ as a career. So on the flip side, in the black music industry, we had huge male DJs, particularly towards the late 2000s. And these were people such as Oskido, Euphonic, DJ Cleo, DJ Kent. There were a lot. And these people actually set the standard of, what it means to be a DJ in South Africa. So these people are actually who each and every DJ, especially female DJs, now are currently, being compared against. So they set the standard that everyone now in the industry, has to sort of like meet, which is the problem that I have now with people, comparing Uncle Waffles, to people who have been in the game, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. So back to female DJs. So towards the late 2000s, towards the late 2000s, we were introduced to like two female DJs, black female DJs, that we came to love as South Africa, and these were DJ Sindo and DJ Zinhle. Now these two were constantly compared against each other. They were literally the Chloe Bailey and Normani of South African DJs. They were constantly pitted against each other, compared as to who's better and who's not, and all of that. So DJ Sindo at the time was the bigger artist in terms of, she had broken into the entertainment industry and she was releasing albums and all of that, whereas DJ Zinhle had not really broken into the entertainment industry as of yet. She was playing on Jigama Jiga. She was the resident DJ on Jigama Jiga, and that is where we knew her from, and we literally fell in love with her. So the two were constantly compared, constantly pitted against each other, and the result of that, we now see that one of them is no longer part of the entertainment industry as much as they were before, but that is a topic for another video, child. So I do want to mention DJ Sindo and DJ Zinhle as the catalyst of the female DJ in South Africa. So fast forward to 2021. A girl starts trending on social media and everyone is in love with her and everyone is asking, who is she? I love her energy. Who is she? So it turns out she is Uncle Waffles, and child, like everyone fell in love with her because she has so much stage presence and you could see that she was genuinely enjoying the music, and because of her energy and how she was enjoying the music and expressing herself, the crowd also fed off of her energy and it was just magical. So literally not long after, Drake follows the girl, and that makes news as well. So in the subsequent, weeks, more videos of her, DJing and playing at different clubs surface, and everyone falls in love with just how beautiful her energy is, like how she's so in tune and how she's feeling the music. And she literally made people have a dance move for Adiwele's Namayang Bizama 1000. Like, it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness. But she's female, she's black, and that industry, in as much as there's a lot more female DJs right now who were even big before Uncle Waffles, people such as Durban Gogo, Lamiz, Owami, DJ Zintle, there's a lot. There's a whole lot of, beautiful, amazing, and talented female DJs that were there, and that were huge before Uncle Waffles. But for some reason, when Uncle Waffles broke into the industry, everyone had something to say, and people kept saying she won't even last 6 months, and they were comparing her to the Whistle Girl. So clearly, we're talking about Uncle Waffles right now, which means that she did not live up to those predictions. She actually has made it past 6 months, and people are still loving her. And yeah, she's still as big as ever. And yeah, so the reason why I want to talk about this is because I genuinely do not think, or I think that people do not give female DJs the credit that they deserve. Like, they really do not cut some slack for female DJs in South Africa. Like, you have people always, talking badly about, these female DJs. And right now, recently, there's a lot of videos that are, surfacing of female DJs performing, leaving their decks for a while and then performing and dancing for the audience. And, people have a problem with that, and they're blaming Uncle Waffles. And for me, it's like, I don't see a problem with that. Like, they were inspired by how Uncle Waffles is able to capture the audience, and they obviously want to emulate the same or similar thing for their audience, which is something that, a lot of other male counterparts were literally doing or are still currently doing. Like, you have people saying that, I was inspired by Oskido, and that's why I DJ the way that I do, because I drew my inspiration from him. So I do not see anything wrong with that. So let us have a talk a little about, these new female DJs that everyone is comparing to Uncle Waffles. So I genuinely do not blame the girls for trying to emulate what Uncle Waffles is doing, and just trying to, engage the crowd the same way that she does, because that was actually really genius. Uncle Waffles has mastered the art of what it means to be a performer. She knew that she did not want to limit herself to just being a DJ by focusing purely on the technique of, DJing. She wanted to be an all-rounder. She wanted the brand Uncle Waffles to be a brand of a performer, and that is what she has achieved, and that is why people actually love her the way that they do, because she is an all-rounder. And to be honest, people don't care about, the technique that people use, when they're DJing. When people are in the club, they just want to dance, and if you're able to achieve that and dance with them, then you've achieved your goal. And to be honest, there are male DJs who actually were not even adhering to the standards that people are holding Uncle Waffles against when it comes to DJing. So there's this video that surfaced, I think, a couple of weeks ago, of this DJ Chaotic, doing his set, and Uncle Waffles is literally standing right next to him, and I assume she's about to perform. And, everyone is dragging Uncle Waffles and saying that, yeah, this is the moment she knew that Tanzania and Adiwele are not going to save her. And I mean, the guy is really good. Like, if I can just say that one thing, the guy is really good. He's really, really, really good. He's actually what a DJ is supposed to be, according to what we've come to accept of DJs to be. And he actually has been around. I think he's a DJ in Metro FM. Like, he's been around. He's a really huge name. He's a really known person. However, just that he hasn't broken into the entertainment industry. He doesn't have his own catalog or his own brand as this DJ where everyone knows and he has music out and all of that. So So everyone is dragging or was dragging Uncle Waffles because she does not know how to DJ like at his level. And I mean, from the video, like she was also impressed. She was like, "Whoa, whoa!" But in all reality, we need to be honest. The entertainment industry does not care about how many sound effects you can put into like a song or how well you can DJ. All that matters is that can you just generally put a good mix together, and then are you able to capture the crowds or the audience attention, and like as a brand as a whole, do you have something that people would want to buy? Can we sell you as a brand? So with that said, the entertainment industry is not made up of the best vocalists there are or the best DJs there are, or whatever. It is not made up of those people. The people who are DJs right now, they're not the best in the game. Like DJ Black Coffee, he's not the best DJ there could ever be. He is a good DJ, and as a brand, he is the best as a brand, but not as a DJing. Like, it doesn't mean that his DJ skill is superior to everyone else. There are a lot of people, I'm sure, who would be able to beat him when it comes to, the technique of DJing. But as a brand, that is what matters. Like, as a brand, he is at the level that he is. And I think that's also another problem that people had with him. They were like, wait, but people don't know any of his new songs, and he goes and he wins a Grammy. And the thing is, it's no longer about just the technique, it's about the brand as a whole. Do you have something people want to buy? And currently Black Coffee, he is a commodity. Like, people everywhere in all these other countries want to book him, and that is what matters. And that is the case even with Uncle Waffles. She's not a techniques DJ, right? She's not trying to impress people with sound effects and all of that. She's trying to be a brand that is conclusive and holistic and captures audiences. Just by having Uncle Waffles in the room, you'll know that, oh yeah, she's here, because the crowd is able to engage and exchange energies with her. And that is what the entertainment industry is about. So it really is unfair for people to actually be like, oh no, Uncle Waffles is not talented, as if the people who are, winning awards and all of that are the most talented people. They're not. They're not. The honest truth is that they're not. So I would like for us to stop using all these, standards for female DJs to adhere to that are not even applicable anymore. Because honestly, if it were that, skill was such or technique rather was such an important thing when it comes to DJing, then, people like DJ Chaotic would be killer right now. People like Siga, I think the guy who was, disrespected by Casper Nyovest back in 2020, and he trended for, a couple of weeks, and that was it. Like, that guy, he was good. So people like that would literally be at the top, and everyone else, like the people that you guys like to bash, such as Uncle Waffles and Tuli P, would be at the bottom. But that is not the case. Technique is not all that important. So there is a quote that I want to mention about, this same thing that, Beyonce said in her documentary, Life is But a Dream. So she, mentions that, music is no longer about the art. It is about selling an image. And that is literally what I want to talk about. Because she was literally talking about how people are invested in who you're dating, where you're going, how do you look like, what do you do, and all of that, and no longer just about the music. Oh, she puts out good music, and yeah, I love her because of that. It's more now about like a holistic type of package where the artist's music is important as well as their image. Where do they go? What do they wear? What do they say? What are their political views? What do they think? Who do they hang out with? And all of that. So, in my opinion, Uncle Waffles is not a DJ purely based on the techniques of being a DJ. She loves music, and she understands the fact that she is an artist, and holistically she has the brand image that she has the brand image of what it takes to be a musician or to break into the music industry. So it really is about keeping people entertained and, you know, keeping them dancing, and everything else doesn't matter. People don't care about technique. All they want to do is to just dance when you're on the decks. So to conclude this topic or this video, child, I want to say that Uncle Waffles, keep doing your thing, boo boo. Keep doing your premixes and popping your pum pum against the floor, because the public doesn't care about technique. They just want to hold you against standards that they hold no one else against. So keep doing your thing, baby girl. And in Destined Choice's words, the public has ADD and ADHD, and they are not going to listen to you unless you sell them entertainment. So stop complicating people's lives with techniques and this and that. Like, people just don't care. They just want entertainment. Hi, bo. I'm out. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video and made it this far, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what your opinion is. What do you think of the new girls? What do you think of Uncle Waffles? And generally, what do you think about this video? Leave your comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you want to get more videos like this, and do share with a friend if you care, and I'll see you in the next one.